Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Races Driving League Season 17, Round 10 of the Championship. Welcome to the Spanish Grand Prix here at the fabulous Circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia. I'm your host, Zach RC, here to take you through all the action of what should be a very, very enjoyable 2 hours of racing, which of course gets kicked off with qualifying going on here in a matter of seconds as the first few cars emerge from the pit lane, being led out by a Red Jays Ferrari. So fantastic race last time out in Canada. Brilliant Grand Prix there all around, which wound up with James taking his 4th win of the season to get himself back on top after a few weeks of slightly poorer results, but at least by his standards that he's set so far this season. And of course, crucially last week, Imrie had his race ban, but he is now back in the saddle, and there he is emerging from the pit lane to get his first lap underway. Got good faith, there's faith in the Mercedes camp going into this week. Poke's been on the verge of good results recently. Podiums in Monaco and in other circuits, and obviously at Imola, of course, that race win. But of course, a crash last week, so no points scored for Mercedes. That they fall further behind RB and Haas in the standings. So those guys look to maintain their lead going into tonight's race. But of course, Pope and Imrie have always run well at Spain in the past, so we could be seeing potential good results from the pair of them tonight. In terms of the cars out on track, we're looking at who will be the first one to go through and set our first lap. We'll see who's the furthest along. That would be the Alpine of Che. Che reserving this week for Alpine this time round to reserve in place of Alvar. Curtis back this week, so we've got Alpine on the grid. So Che then will lead us through for our first qualifying lap here of Q1. DRS now wide open to charge towards that first corner, turn the telemetry. ERS in hot lap mode as he goes towards that first corner. Yellow flag in sector 2. Keeps in hot lap through the first couple of corners. That very tight chicane. Overtake briefly for the long sweeping right-hander at turn 3. Going back and forth to an overtake and hot lap. Pulling over to the right-hand side of the track on the exit. Back over to the left and swinging back inside for turn 4. Decent first sector. We'll see what it looks like now in sector 2. Downhill, locking up there slightly on the left front. Good exit. Want to avoid losing traction, losing grip on the exit to turn 6. Through 7 and 8. Keep it under control and avoid that yellow curb on the inside. Now into the blind right of turn 9. Bit of a wobble. Oh! Another wobble. Keeps the lap valid as he goes towards the second sector split and towards turn 10, which of course the turn 10, 11, 12 complex having a revamp in recent years. We now use what was the motorbike layout. And of course, so through turn 12 and now towards turns 13 and 14. They're now two sweeping fast right-handers as they were back in the early 2000s before the chicane came along, and basically been over the overtaking in the last sector. But Chase at the first lap, 1 minute 12.6. Spain now a very fast circuit, very competitive circuit to the least. As the next car through to the line, Imrie, who goes fastest, 1 minute 12.171, and in behind him looks to be one of the Williams cars, that'll be Ethan, I believe. Ethan over the line, P3, 1 minute 13.1. Ferrari of Rejje in behind. What can Rejje pull off? 1 minute 14.7. The time's getting slower and slower here to kick things off. Next car through is a debutant. Ben in the Red Bull. Ben Wow Wow, which is how I'm assuming the W is pronounced. We'll stick to Ben. Across the line, 1 minute 13.5, dead. So decent start. Puts himself amongst the pack there. Lucky Lambert on his way through. In the last corner now, Grumio goes fastest, 1 minute 12.048. And there goes the reigning champion, of course. Struggled last week and didn't make it beyond the end of the first sector in Canada last time out. Caught out by a very strange sort of catch on the curb. I believe it was at turn 5. Spun him off, sends him off into the outside wall and out of the Grand Prix on the opening lap after leading away on the start. Just 79 points from Grumio this season. He's 45 points off of teammate Landau, and it's the first time in quite a while that we've seen Landau actually in front of Grumio by quite a way. In recent seasons, it's been Grumio who's had the edge over Landau, but this season's turned out to be quite different as Landau leads the Haas charge and continues to hunt down Gaming James in the Drivers' Championship. James emerged from the pits now. Of course, last week's winner in Canada. It's his 4th from 9. Elsewhere, Landau, Grumio, Pope and Websy have all took victory. Grumio with 2, James with 5, and Landau, Pope and Websy all on 1 each. JB sits in 6th place. He's the highest driver in the championship yet to take a race win. He's 6 points in front of Flying Duck. A decent result last week helped him to maintain that advantage. Pope also one of the casualties who crashed out around that second sector split, but his was on the penultimate lap of the race while James headed on for victory. Pope was chasing Websy for a podium position and had penalties potentially to his favour, but it wasn't to be in the end. He's looking to recover it this week. As I say, a lot of confidence out of the Mercedes camp going into this Grand Prix. So obviously in Q1 we're looking at just 2 drivers being eliminated this week from the first session. And then from there, the top 15 will go into Q2. And that'll be obviously perhaps the more interesting session as we see who will vie for the places for pole position in the top 10 shootout. That is Q3. So a lot coming up your way in terms of qualifying for about the next 50 minutes or so, and then from there we'll be in for about a 40-45 minute Grand Prix. So a lot of entertainment coming your way over the next 2 hours, so recommend sticking around. And make sure to subscribe if this is your first time. Welcome along. I do hope you're enjoying the racing this evening. So we hope you will enjoy the racing this evening. And make sure to subscribe as we get closer and closer to the midway point of the season. Nearing that halfway stage. It's flown along this season. It's been absolutely fantastic racing so far. But James is pulling away. He's got 31 points to good over Landlord as Curtis comes towards the line here to complete what will be his second lap, I believe. Koch just joined the session, so we're up to 18 cars now. So we have 3 eliminated at the end of the session. In terms of who we're waiting for, James on the circuit there, 50.8 second sector. So there's Cott appearing in the pit lane. So both Saubers now in the running. Of course, Cott still looking for a solid result to re-kickstart his season. James towards the line here, 1 minute 12.3. It's not for P4 right now. And we've sort of established a lead pack in recent weeks. Grumio, regular part of that pack. Chase, since he's been reserving, has always been part of that pack up front. James, obviously, championship leader, has been contending. The two Mercedes cars, thorn in everyone's shoulders, and everyone's side rather as we continue on. And Lucky Lambert's up there in recent weeks too. Lando goes fastest by just 9,000 of a second over his teammate. So the two Haas cars look to be the ones to beat early on. But of course, this could be anyone's game. I'd say qualifying is crucial here, given that we've seen DRS trains here in the past. And Grumio retiring in the session, so assuming he's got the means to get himself into Q2 without too much hassle. 10 minutes to go in the session, so still plenty of time for things to change. And of course, we're looking at 3 cars who will be going out. In terms of 3 drivers who have set times the slowest so far, it'll be Ben, Obsessed Gamer, and Red J. JB at the last corner now, charging towards the line. Still a 6th place in the standings. He's going to keep that today. P12 for him. Not a fantastic first lap. PJ invalidates his first effort. Going to the last section now. Into the pit lane he comes. The Red Bull of Ben just in. Well, I don't know that's the RB, I believe, of James. Yes, it is. No flying duck this week, so JB looks to be potentially on course to expand that lead. And Curtis could take advantage. Curtis down to 8th place in the standings after holding a top 5 position for the majority of the first half of the campaign. Slipped in recent weeks, drivers like Pope and Websy have taken over. And from there, Curtis has fallen back to P8, but still solid to put in the standings as it stands, given how close things are right now. A solid top 5 run today could potentially put him in front of both Duck and JB. Finishing in 8th place or above would guarantee a spot in 7th in the standings, provided, of course, the cars behind him don't jump him. Of course, Imri's in good stead to do that. I think back to last season, Imri was away for a Grand Prix for Miami, I believe it was, after the first 4 rounds of the season. Didn't quite go his way, as Lando retires. Both Haas cars now going out. Che calling it day 2 for this first session. But Imri struggled in the first 4 races of last season, culminating in a collision with Grumio at Azerbaijan. He was out for Miami, and he came back to Imola, and he was definitely a changed driver, a lot faster. Oh, Lucky Lambert, I thought was going off into the goal for a second there. But no, a glitch, and he keeps himself on the circuit nicely. He's there P7 from right now. But Imri came back in a much better mindset, and now looks to be, well, across the season, he's definitely a lot faster as things went by. He's regularly challenging the Grumio Landlord pair, who were in the Williams at the time, challenging Grovey as well. Those 3 are the main championship contenders, and Imri is behind them in 4th. And while it's been a slightly stronger start for Imri compared to the last season, around the same sort of level there. The race ban after the incidents in Monaco, he's now had 2 weeks off from the racing, and he's back to Spain, and could be in. If history is to repeat itself, then we could be in for a much quicker Imri, who puts himself down as one of the favourites to win today, and I think I'd have to agree. As I say, hope in the Mercedes camp is quite high this week. Both Saubers on the circuit. Cotton invalidates his first effort. Websy's on the racetrack now. He's just going through the first sector. Keep an eye on the former race winner. Of course, it was around this time last year that Websy was pushing the boundary in the championship. Of course, we went on to finish second at the end of that marvellous campaign. And since P5 right now, 1 win to his name, so I'm sure he can't complain about that. And just 5 points behind Pope and 13 behind Grumio, so definitely not have reached put himself back in third. Should things go his way today. Look at the chat here. Think Touchy Pope might be the best IDL driver ever. I mean, I'm sure there's a number of drivers who'd like to challenge that, but perhaps they might challenge it. There's 5 of them in front of the order right now that might beg to differ, but and 3 of them have retired, so I wonder if they actually think that he'll catch them. Of course, Pope been a while since he actually took home the IDL Championship. This will be the 6th season since season 11. Of course, 2 of those he spent up here in the commentary box. Me personally, I think he should have stuck to that. He's still waiting on the first race win of the season. Of course, the victory in Imola was up front all day, but the stewards' report went in his favour at the end. So Pope yet to win a race on the circuit, but I'm sure tonight could be a good shot from him. Flying Duck joins the session, so up to 19 cars in the standings, which means the 4 cars to go at the end of the session. So all of a sudden, the pressure on a little bit more going into this next part of qualifying. James on the racetrack once again. We'll see Duck emerge on the leaderboard in just a moment's time. As of right now, oh hello there. Red J off in the gravel there. What covers it? He's on the bubble right now. The 4 cars below him are yet to set valid lap times. PJ's still out there. He's looking for a lap this time around. Emery retiring now. The top 4 always calling it a day. P8 for PJ, that knocks Red J down to the bottom 4. Flying Duck, Websy and Cockney Goblin all yet to set lap times. Flying Duck just got here. Websy went for that first run but didn't quite go to plan, and Cockney Goblin hasn't left the pit lane yet. On board with JB now, so he looks to push himself slightly further away from that bubble. Towards the line now. 1 minute 13, sorry, 1 minute 12.8, excellent time there. Puts in P8. And moves Red J, sorry, keeps it as it is. Chess Gamer there, now 15th on the bubble. Websy is back on the racetrack. On the board here with the Sauber next to the second sector. Crucially on the outlap though, so we'll give it a moment. We'll see. We'll come back to him later on. Here comes Flying Duck down the pit lane. The RB combo continues to show the way in the Constructors' Championship. And they still lead Haas. But of course, Flying Duck, 50 points on the season so far. 6 behind JB, and potentially looking to upset the cars in front. Of course, nearing a full season here we've had Flying Duck in the league for. If I check my notes quickly and just remind myself whether that is true or not. It was around midway through season 16A's debut. 15 races we've had him for. This is race number 16. His best result is 2nd, which is achieved just the once. So, waiting for that next step to take that first victory. Perhaps could it be today? Let's wait and see. PJ Caleb retiring. 7 of the top 9 all calling an end to their qualifying. Thinking they're safe where they are. Thinking Ben, Obsessed Gamer and Red J could be the ones under pressure here. Flying Duck, Websy and Cockney Goblin all on the circuit now. Websy towards the line, goes P6. Very solid lap. Flying Duck, 21.9 in the first sector. Poke retiring now for the session. Into turn 7 and 8. Good stuff so far from Duck. Red Bull there behind, in front of him as he goes through off turn 9. Ben moves out of the way, nice and clean there. 51.5 his second split. Last 2 corners now. What sort of time will Duck set? Can he match the cars in front a bit wide at the last corner? Avoiding those curves. There's been problems on those recently. P14 for Flying Duck. So potentially a bit of jeopardy there, BRB. Cockney Goblin there starting his first flying lap in the late stage of the session. The last car to set a lap time. Ferrari right now the last 2 spaces in the standings. On the timing screen, checking flags now out. It's largely his bottom 9 we're concerned about. Cotton Ethan could be at risk potentially if cars below improve. Dan not improving right now, but he's the last car in as it stands. Cockney Goblin 52.0 in the second sector. First game over the line, P17, he's out qualifying. Ben goes P13, that puts Dan out. Flying Duck now right there on the mark. Cockney Goblin towards the line, can he improve enough? Up to P18. Sort of Red J improving here. It looks as though Flying Duck is safe. Red J is improving, but will it be enough? Stays P19, dead last. So both Curtis and Duck are still on laps, but both cars are safe. Duck in the pit lane, knowing he's good for Q2. Curtis in. A late join for Duck, just enough to get him in. Curtis obviously been in the whole time and safe in the second part of qualifying. James and Webb's yet to end their sessions, but both also are in. So solid end to qualifying then. Land on top of the session by 9 thousandths of a Grumio. Those first laps in the top 4, all enough to get them into Q2 with ease. About over the mark, about a second or so, 1.3 over the cars behind. So we'll go through the order then. Landlord leads Grumio, followed by Imri then Che, James in 5th, Websy 6th, Pope, Lucky, JB and PJ around the top 10. Going through as well, Curtis, Cott, Debutant, Ben, Ethan and Flying Duck narrowly, and Daniel Aaron, Obsessed Gamer, Cockney Goblin and Red J, both Ferraris there and both Astons out in Q1. So we're going now, time for Q2 now. This is where things get a bit more interesting. It's anyone's game as to who will make it into the last part of qualifying. The question is, who will it be and who will get knocked out? Just waiting now in the first few moments for the cars to make it back out on track. Of course, Haas were in control of that first session. Because with drivers having been more used to the circuit, a few practice laps now in. And that's one of the Mercedes cars making out to the circuit, and that is also, so that's Imrie out, and that is also Flying Duck, I believe, who's the first car. Yes, he is. Duck leads the way out. Cott follows him through, followed by behind one of the Haas cars. That will be Landlord. And everyone on the circuit, big train of cars. All being led by Curtis and Che, as well as that is PJ and so I'm not sure the car behind us. That is Imrie, sorry, that is Imrie. So he's got the chops here to get through into the next part of qualifying. Keep an eye on Cott here as he comes to the last corner. Let's see what pace he's got lined up. Of course, maintenance Q2 is simple the task for some drivers and others. Well, I'm sure how to phrase that, to be honest. But Cott, of course, no, it tends to come alive later on in the qualifying session, so we'll see what he's got. Wobble there through turn 4. Into 5, good exit. Through 6. Invalid for that though, so I have to move on to someone else. Imrie in behind. Yellow flag as Ben moves out of the way for some of the cars. Sorry, no, that is one of the RBs, I apologise. Ben is on the main straight, about to come through set his first time lap. On start he goes. Lucky Lambo disconnects. That could be a problem early on this session. It's a good thing it's not on the racetrack. That'd be the crucial detail here. Lando goes fast. It's 1 minute 11.8. We'll see if we can match that. Curtis goes second, 1 minute 12.9. Imrie doesn't go faster, 1 minute 12.1. Che slots himself in quite nicely between those two cars, 1 minute 12.065. PJ into 5th. And Ethan into 4th. So Curtis now squeezed in between the two Williams cars. See Imrie off the circuit there. So 6 cars through first. Oh, the slide from Cott on his first run. Ben across the line with 13.065. The pace doesn't look to be too far off for the Red Bull this time around. Could we see a potential dark horse in Q3? Have to wait and see. Cott back in the pit lane there. Perhaps not as successful a first round as might have hoped. Duck towards the line. P30 to P9 for him. And JB's in front, P7. JB picking up as well. Chase to the pits. A lucky retiring from the session. I think the other disconnect has forced retired him. And that'll be it. Lucky out of Q2 early on. Duck stopped on the circuit there to allow Che through, who then retires immediately. Now, of course, I have to see here in terms of who's on fresh tyres. Often the transition between the tyres, it's in for the Q1 tyres and the fresh set we get for Q2. So I have to wait sometimes for the drivers to come through and set their best laps on the new softs. So both Landlord and Imrie going faster on the old tyre than they are on the Q2 tyre. And Che as well. Che has retired it. Hasn't even used that set yet. So it could be in potentially for Che going full attack in Q3, presuming that he makes it into Q3. Flying double in the pit lane here. Grimier off the last corner. We'll see what he can do in terms of time. Goes second fastest again. Now has to measure him still. Pope towards the line. Pope goes fifth fastest. That's Mercedes cars. Not on the back foot, but still just a bit behind Haas at the minute. So Mercedes there, just a little bit behind as it stands right now. A few tenths. Those tenths could be crucial in the race. Just Grimier and Pope on the track right now. Here comes Imrie re-emerging. Of course, as I said, the pace seems strong for these Silver Arrows, but it's just, for the minute, they're stuck that bit behind and they need to find a way around that, because could be waiting for Q3 for that to happen. Red J rejoins. Of course, Red J out of the session already, out of qualifying. Grimier retires. So there's 2 cars now in the top 10 out. 3 of them. Landlord calling it. So guys, chances are safe in Q3. I'd imagine both Mercedes cars are as well. So it'll be left now to the remaining drivers to fight it out. As of right now, JB on the bubble. Ben, Duck, Lucky is definitely out. Cotton, James. Well, those guys are yet set times, the bottom 2. So we'll see what James has got to offer this time around. Of course, Spain has one of the longest runs towards turn 1 of any track on the calendar. So the start phase, I imagine, might not be. If the start phase is even enough, then whoever will be the lead in the first corner will not be decided in the first few hundred meters. We've seen in the past drivers get slightly bogged down on the getaway, and then even from there still find themselves in the lead at the first corner, and that's just how long that main straight is. Similar in terms of length to that of China, in terms of the DRS straight there. Imrie goes fastest, 1 minute 11.7, and that'll be on the fresh soft tyre, I have no doubt. Manuel, Grimier and Che, I imagine they're all saving their fresh set for Q3, so we could see a number of fast laps being set by those guys. But Imrie tops the session for now. He is without doubt safe. Curtis improving in the first sector. James goes up to 6th place. That'll move PJ Cowell onto the bowl. 3,000 in behind Curtis right now. So Minority cars still on the pits. Flying Duck on his way through. 1 minute 13.0, his best effort so far. Into the pit lane. He's got 4.5 minutes and not a lot of time to get himself back on the circuit. They have time for another run, but he can't take a long time. Lucky Lambert rejoins, but unfortunately is out. Imi retiring, so top 4 all safe. We'll see what the remaining drivers have left to offer. 10 cars who will still be able to set lap times here. Being led now by Pope, 1 minute 12.1. JB back in the pit, back out on the racetrack now. Of course, he's the first cut out right now by just 4 1,000ths. James retires. That's half of the top 10 now out. As JB starts his next lap. Now, are the tyres going to have as much impact in terms of the race? Because we've seen different circuits, especially in qualifying, that the tyre difference is absolutely crucial. And here in Q2 is perhaps where it's at its most crucial, because we see drivers who go for the old set from Q1 first, and then their fresh set of softs for another run later on. Because of course you get a set of mediums and a set of softs in Q2. Oh, that's a big clump of dirt being kicked up there by the McLaren as he invalidates. It's under 3 minutes to go. JB still just underneath the point right now. Be gutting to go out at this stage. Four cars on the racetrack now. They're out lap stuck. Ben, both Williams cars, PJ and Ethan. Cocked up there too. Cott yet to get a good lap in. He needs a lap. That's what he needs right now. Cott now into the last couple of corners. He's got a minute 47 on the clock. Pope retiring now, so that's 4 spots still to be decided here to go into Q3. Will Cott occupy one of them? Webster's got one of them right now, so looking to join his teammate in the shootout. Duck starts to lap 2. These two are the ones to keep an eye out for. Them two and JB. JB's up right now. He's got to keep the lap valid this time. Last sector for JB. Still looking at improving. Everyone out the racetrack now. A minute to go. JB towards the line, looking at improving potentially. He does improve. It's up to P9. Could still be in trouble. Duck is improving right now. 50.09 for Cott in the second sector. Couldn't quite catch the Flying Duck's time. Ben towards the line. Can Ben improve enough? Ben into P8. That pushes JB back onto P10 again. We could be looking at another JB elimination here later on. Cott pushes into P6. Flying Duck only 12. Duck, unless he can improve this time, looks to be out. Either almost 2 to the top of the last corner. Towards the line now. P12 for him. PJ was 400 of a second up and into the first sector. Cott looks to be safe. Curtis is on the mark. Ethan improved his last lap by 2/10. I should imagine those last laps might just be it for these guys. Due to the lack of battery. PJ is still a quarter of a second up. He needs about another quarter Does he get himself into Q3 over Curtis? Into the last two corners, needs a big push through here. Towards the line, can he do it? He just misses out. In the end, P11 for PJ. Websy to P6. Cockles will be down to P7. Ben looks to be into Q3. JB slowing. That's Valley. He's gone. He's out qualifying. Can Duck do anything? I think Duck's had it. He's over the line. 1 minute 14.9 for Duck. P14 for him. And Ethan will be the last car over the lines. Complete the session. Imrie tops, Landon and Grumio. Shea 4th, Pope 5th, Websy 6th, Cox 7th, James 8th. Ben on his debut gets into Q3 and Curtis rounds off the top 10. Fantastic Q2 as always. Continues to deliver the 3-stage qualifying format in the league. And we wonder now how we got by without it in terms of pure entertainment during qualifying. Here we go then, this is for all the marbles. Welcome to Q3. 10 drivers now looking for pole position, but who will secure it? In terms of teams, six different teams getting their cars into Q3 this week. So Sauber with both their cars, Mercedes with both their cars, Haas with both their cars, Alpine with both of their cars, and then one RB and one Red Bull. So Red Bull technically getting 2 of their 4 cars in on the grid. But we'll move on from that. 12 minutes to decide pole position. This should be a very exciting end to qualifying. It's been the Haas cars that have dominated so far. Imrie set the lap in Q2, but that was on fresh softs compared to the Haas cars' old ones. On board with Pope there, the first car out to the racetrack. Everyone giving it a minute to go. Sometimes we do see them all emerge at once. Oh, Pope around. Apologies, I looked away for us for a second, and Pope then proved to us why he thinks he's the best RDL driver ever. Off the last corner and towards the line, starts first flying lap. Hopefully it won't damage his tyres too much. But he's the first car to come through as his teammate enters the fray right there behind him. If Imrie can catch up, can we see these two working together? We've seen them go for toes in the past. We've seen that sort of thing work. And in a qualifying session that could be decided by tight margins as it has done so far, that could be crucial in getting one of the Mercedes cars on the front row. Perhaps even both Mercedes cars on the front row if they can part the pace. through turn 9 Imrie there. Keep an eye on Pope. 50.8 in his in his second sector rather. Into turns 11 into 13 and 14. My numbers are all over the place. I don't know what's going on. Last call for Pope. It's come this first time over Q3, and that is not Imrie. That is now Grumio behind him. Grumio emerges, and there goes Imrie charging through. Pope sets the first time. 1 minute 11.994. Landlaw goes faster. 1:11.6, and Che goes faster than Pope too. 1 minute 11.7. So a spread they start things off. Che second then. Next car through. Curtis starting his first lap. Invalidating those, so not a good start at all. Webb's into the last sector. Only car yet to leave the pits is James. Webb's to P4. Last corner for Imrie. We'll see what he's got. Can he put himself amongst the front runners here? Grumio goes fastest, 11.4. Imrie P4 at the minute, 11.9. Those two Mercedes cars got a bit of work to do here because this is where it counts. This is Haas's game right now, and Mercedes are simply standing in line, waiting to play it. Ben goes 7th, 1 minute 13.089. Slowest in time so far. Cott is into sector 2. Curtis obviously invalidated that last run, so he's still on that same lap. Look at the speed down the main straight there from the Alpines. He goes back to turn 1. Lock up from Cott there, keeps it under control. Into the last couple of corners here, looking to complete this lap strong. Last corner, and Cott goes P6 just in front of Webster here. Those first runs more or less coming to a close now. Pope is still there in P5, so I don't know, but oh, Curtis slide there through turn 7 and 8, saves it, just saves it, very close. Slight lock in the tyres there, not a lot of smoke from Curtis. Another slide, and Curtis struggling here on this lap. And he's going to pit. James is the last car out on the circuit, so looking for a good time to push himself towards the Haas cars. He hasn't really had the speed so far today. Oh, a bit onto the grass, keeps it away from the invalidation marks and away from the gravel trap. Towards the second sector split now, 50.6 for James. Last corner. Can the championship leader match these guys? P6 for him. I mean, it's very close, so I'd say P6 in this case is nothing to be ashamed of in the slightest, given how tight-knit this field has been, not just today, but all season. But in terms of these main guys, the guys who are regularly up front challenging for wins now. It's going to be a tough race to go around for a lot of these guys. Curtis, the one car who hasn't set a lap time yet, but he's just come out of the pit lane here to go again. Of course, had those struggles in the first run. James coming into the pit lane this time. I assume he's invalidated his lap, so I think I'll leave it for him. But there's time for one more run, and again, everyone will probably be using their fresh sets. So this is where we get the true measure of pace. Curtis is the one car on the racetrack right now. Looks like one of the Mercedes cars coming out the pit lane. That'll be Imrie. Imrie leading the field out for what will be their last runs. There's Ben's mechanics. Imrie to let them go. There goes the Red Bull away. Imrie will emerge behind Curtis on the flying lap. Now Curtis needs a lap on the board this time to give himself a decent chance of a high starting spot. Of course, he'd be at risk potentially being overtaken by Imrie today. 1 point separating those two in the championship standings. Imrie on 47, Curtis on 48. Now Imrie probably shouldn't be fighting Curtis here because Curtis is on a time lap. Sounds like he owned me there. Crazy. Curtis continues on towards turn 9. He's invalidated his lap. So again struggling here. Just 4 cars in the pit lane here. Websy, James, Che and Grumio. Grumio on the racetrack now. Che on the racetrack. James and Websy staying where they are. If they want to come out soon, they have to make their move quickly because there's only going to be time for one more lap eventually. In about 30 seconds. That's when we're looking at the end of charts just to set lap times. The sun's starting to set a little bit now. We're getting towards slightly more evening time. Ben's starting more or less most likely he'll be his final lap. The top 3 on all out laps here. Imrie is currently at the end of the first sector. Only 400ths up. He needs to get a bit more improvement out of that machine. He's got work to do to challenge the leaders. And Pope needs to get on it too. Both cars now what will be most likely their last laps. Webbsy out in the circuit, James out in the circuit too. I think James might have left it a bit late, potentially. In now the last minute of the session. It's Grumio on pole right now. He's got the edge this time over Landlord. Landlord has been faster than his teammate in the first 2 sessions already. Imrie of the line for P2 there. Landlord not improving right now. Curtis retiring. He's caught into the session. P8 at the end of it. Then in the pit lane, P10 for him will most likely be the end of it. Waiting now for the checker flag to come back out to signal the end to qualifying. Grumio's not improving. Because he doesn't need to improve. The cars around need to catch him. Pope up to P4. I think he crossed the lines just before the flag. Landlord P2 in the end puts himself back on the front row by 300. This looks like Grumio's time. Imrie not improving. Chow from the gravel. Caught down by 8/10 in the first sector. Webbsy up. But of course got a lot of time to go. I think Grumio out of pole here. Across the line for P1. We won't confirm it just yet. But I imagine that should be it. Webbsy improving by 4/10. Could put himself in the 4th row, perhaps even the 3rd row, with a solid last sector. How high can he push himself? Shea retiring. It's Hash on the front row. Mercedes in the 2nd row. Can Sauber take the 3rd row? Webbsy to P6. And it won't be the 3 teams in formation towards the first corner. Caught into the pit lane here. And now Campbell qualifying. Grumio is on pole. for the Spanish Grand Prix. And the qualifying maestro again reminds everyone why he's still the master over one single flying lap. But can he make up for last week's disappointment in the race? That spin could perhaps be on his mind. Haas win the first battle over Mercedes. RB, the championship leaders, the pace not quite there for them in qualifying so far. The race could be a different story. But this could be the day where Haas gains some serious points in the standings. Lando will be gaining 14 points to stands, bringing that gap in the championship down to 17 from James, if things stay as they are. Grumio is on pole to start the Spanish Grand Prix. And we'll go through your top 10 before we get to intermission for a brief break before the start of the race. So Grumio on pole, he'll lead his teammate Lando to turn 1. Imrie in third, poking forward from Mercedes lineup on row 2. Che in 5th, he rounds out your top 5. That's Websy, Koch, James, Curtis and Ben, who kicks off his RDL career with a solid top 10 qualifying result. So that's your starting grid. We'll be back with you in a few minutes' time to start the race. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And if you did just miss qualifying, then I feel bad for you because it set us up for what should now be a fantastic Grand Prix. I'm your host, Zach RC, here to bring you through the next 33 laps of action at the circuit of Barcelona, Catalonia, and we are minutes away from the start of the formation lap to get underway for what should be, I say, no doubt a brilliant Grand Prix. Let's have a look at itself. 14 corners. Previous winner Grumio took victory here for Williams after a very tight battle with the former Red Bull driver Grovey. Contact took a late spin from Grovey on the last lap, brought by the end of her challenge as Grumio sought on taking victory as he ran away towards the 7th Drivers' Championship of his RDL career. This was just one of what I believe was 8 victories for him across the season. And he starts on pole today. So we'll see what he's got to offer. Less than a minute away now from the start of the formation lap, and we'll get underway with the Grand Prix itself. Grumio, having secured his 93rd win in Monaco just a few weeks ago, could it be win number 94 today? And can he start to close on the 2 championship protagonists, Landlord and James? James still 31 points clear at the top of the table. Landlord is 31 back, so over a race victory behind. So a lot of work to do there. So time now for that formation lap. Drivers ready up. Of course, today so far has been a battle between Mercedes and Haas had the upper hand in qualifying, and the front row and the second row will reflect that in a moment's time. But of course, the race can be a very different story. What could have been a runaway race for Grumio last week resulted in a retirement after just a few corners away from the start. Of course, crucially, there is still a glitch at the outside curb to turn 12 to think about. Be careful where you position your car, ladies and gentlemen, because you could find yourself flying off into the gravel trap or to the inside wall, and just like that, a tyre's gone off your car and you're out the race. So let's hope that everyone can avoid that today. I shouldn't think we'll see any weather intervene in today's race. Things look particularly sunny here in beautiful Barcelona. And here is your starting grid. 19 cars on the grid for this Grand Prix. There's your starting tyres as well. Both Ferraris opting for soft tyres. Red J by himself on row 10. Connie Goblin on row 9 in 18th place. There's 2 Aston Martins just in front of Cesc Gamer and Daniel Aron, opting for mediums and hards respectively. So those guys have got knocked down in Q1. Lucky Lambert makes up the other half of row 8. Row 7, it's Flying Duck and Ethan Duck. Needs a good result today to try and push in front of a few cars in the championship, namely JB there in P12, who still sits in 6th place, but has a number of cars breathing down his neck in Curtis, Imrie, Duck himself, Lucky Lambert perhaps. A number of cars there. PJ Keller lines up in P11 for Williams. Ben starts his first ODL Grand Prix from inside the top 10 in the Red Bull. Of course, first full-time race was signed last week before Canada, but couldn't make it, so had a reserve stand in for him. I believe retired in that Grand Prix. Curtis lines up P9, looking to hold on to P8 in the championship, but has Imrie a point back from him in P9. James, the championship leader, 31 points to good, and he'll need that gap because he's got some work to do to open to start closing the cars down and helping try and prevent Lando from opening that gap. Caught in P7. There on the medium tyres, looking for a good race today to kickstart his championship. He's still sitting right now in P12 in the standings, so he needs to get himself close to his teammate Websy, who starts P6. Che in P5, continuing his fantastic reserve run for a number of teams. Pope and Imrie on row 2. The Mercedes cars couldn't get the edge of the Haas cars in qualifying. Lando on top of the first 2 sessions of qualifying, but it's Grumio, the reigning champion and defending race winner here in Spain, who will lead them down that very long run towards the first corner. Top 4 on the mediums. Che, Duck, Connie and Red J all opting for the soft tyre. Curtis, Lucky and Dan all choosing the hard. Everyone else on that yellow walled medium, probably looking at around 14, 15 laps on that first stint and perhaps set hard to the end. In some cases swap for other drivers. Ben disqualified from the formation lap, goes too far forward in his grid spot. Only cars do that. And here come the lights. Here in Spain for round 10 of the championship. Held for a long time, it is lights out, a foot to the floor. Go, 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 we are underway. Lando with a great getaway that jumps over Grumio. Several cars in and a crash in the back. Already here, the Aston Martins and the Ferraris all involved. Red J out on the spot. Obsessed Gamer, Daniel Aaron, Courtney Gum all carry on, but Lando leads the way into the first corner. VSC, Curtis gets a penalty for ignoring a yellow flag. Well, well, what happened off the line? James, 10-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags. What is going on with those yellow flag penalties? That could be a concern. Red J out on the spot. Another retirement to his name this season. Obviously, we know point fingers, we don't actually know what happened there. But Lando leads away then from Grumio. Chain 3rd, Imrie 4th, Pope 5th. Everyone there, single file, waiting now for that green flag to come back out. Not a clue what happened on the start there. But several cars with damage here. Looks like Obsessed Gamer's got away nice and clean. Courtney Goblin's got damage. We saw a car spin out, one of the Ferraris spin out. And Dan has got damage as well. Green flag goes back out. Lando with a great getaway there. He leads over Grumio, who's got several cars down his neck. Look at the train there after the last corner to go back towards turn 1. Che looking for a move on those soft tyres to go towards that first corner. He's right on the tail of Grumio, looking for overtake. Not really easy for the minute. Trying around the outside. Can he outbreak the champion into turn 1? Another chapter in the incredible rivalry of these two drivers. Imrie gets shuffled out. Pope tries the outside into turn 3. He'll get around the outside of 1. Might try 2 on the exit. Can't quite do it. Mate stays in line for the minute. The 2 Sabres behind them in tow. Lock up from one of the Mercedes cars there. Imrie back to the inside. The 2 teammates going at it wheel to wheel between the 2 Silver Arrows position. Imrie gets the edge on this occasion. And there goes Cott trying to take advantage of Pope suffering around the outside. Oh, slight bit of contact there. Pope almost forcing Cott onto the rumble strips there, but Cott maintains control. Yes, Cott last way behind, and that is someone off the circuit. I'm not quite sure. It's Ben, the debutant, who finds himself around there at turn number 6. And down to P17, and that qualifying position is now moot. Yellow flag for the back as Curtis has had problems as well. He's lost his end plate. A lot of chaos on the start here. JB into the top 10 now. He's managed to find a way around PJ. Only for the moment, they've got the 2 Williams and McLaren cars going head to head here. Fighting reminiscent of 1993. JB there in front for the minute. PJ behind. Chase is the fastest up in the Grand Prix. There he goes looking for second place off of Grumio towards turn 1. Lando's got no run at all. They could go 3 wide for the lead here. They will go 3 wide for the lead. Che on the inside. Landlord sent it out of the way. Che moves into the top spot. What a move there. That took guts through towards the first corner. Landlord will need to regroup and try and get him back. Currently gobbling in the pit lane here. Wing change on that car. Hard tyres. Looks to be going on as well. And Che can now use those soft tyres to full effect, trying to open up a lead here. He's got 4 tenths on Landlord already, who's struggling on those medium tyres just like that. He's lost another 10th. Grumio in there behind them. What a chaotic start here in Spain. We've still got another 30 laps to go, so plenty of time for things to happen. Train fully well now. That's the top 7 cars. James, make that top 8. James is right behind them. Duck up to P9. He's had a fantastic start. He's managed to avoid the chaos seemingly with ease here. Now, Landlord, of course, needs the points for the championship because he's the one who's chasing James in the standings. But will Grumio go at him? Of course, Grumio's got his own race to win. 2 victories this season. Looking for win number 94 on the chart. Che on to lap 4. Leads us, set the fastest lap once again. The Haas cars pulling away here from the 2 Mercedes cars. And Che sat in front of them. Look at that, Landlord back in the lead now. The duel continues fantastically here. I say duel, it's more of a trio here, that's actually a word, but we'll carry on with a 3-way fight for that top spot. I see no reason why Grumio won't get himself involved in a few corners time, essentially down towards turn 12. Turn 10. Oh, there goes Pope! So that's Imrie spinning off. Yeah, we'll let Duck go. And they can rejoin now. But low momentum, and PJ Caleb might try to make a move here. Stay in line, but Imrie now down to P9 with a lot of work to do in this Grand Prix. Che right behind Landlord, looking perhaps to retake the lead here off of turn 14. DRS deployed, overtake used briefly as they come down the main straight. Grumio right behind them there, closing in. We're going to see him go through on again here. Che in the middle this time, Grumio all the way to the inside. He'll swipe through the lead, and Landlord gets a double whammy. Oh, a potential move for Che there. Looking to sneak a nose inside of the Haas. Won't quite do it. Grumio now leads. 3rd different lead in this race. Imrie now down to P10. PJ Caleb made short work from on the main straight with use of that DRS. Another fight towards the front for Imrie begins once again. Can he push on and try and move up some more places? The lead is not quite pulling away as much now. Pope brings them back into range. 7 tenths between 3rd and 4th. Websy and Cott right behind, and James bringing up the rear of the train now. He's the boost over the lead pack. In terms of who leads that train, it's going back and forth here. That's 2 laps in a row we've seen cars go 3 wide for the top spot, or 2 laps out of the first 5. So we'll go 3 wide on the main straight. Could we see it again here? You can see that's the benefit of having a long main straight circuit like this, where the DRS and ERS can go to play, and you can go from 3rd to 1st in one moment, as we could see Landlord try and do potentially, but he's been further back than either of those 2 cars were, so we could see Che try and retake the lead purely one-on-one. Mano a mano into the first braking zone. There goes Che back in front. And Pope sticking with these guys. Imrie now up into P9 once again over PJ. Behind him, it's the 2 McLarens, Lucky and JB. Ethan P13, Obsessed over P14 right now. That's Ben, Curtis, Dan, and Cotney. You see Grumio practically shoving Che there. That's how close he is to the back of the car. What a fantastic Grand Prix it's been so far. We're only 5.5 laps completed. A bit wide there from Che on the exit. Want to try and avoid doing anything track limits wise. Particularly at turn 9, where there's a nice little gravel trap waiting for you should you get it wrong. Duck in a world of his own right now. He's about 2 seconds in front of Imrie and 4.5 off the leaders. But Haas are in control right now, save for Che being that fawn that they don't want there. Grumio moves back in the lead. Can Landlord try and nab it from his teammate potentially? No through-up required this time. Haskars move back into the top spots and continue to command this race. Yellow flag behind it. That is a test gamer around. Sorry, no, that's Dan. Dan's going around. Test gamer's on the main straight. There he is, P14 right now. Dan with wing damage there. That could be a concern for him. We could be seeing him make another pit stop potentially. We'll see if he can try and manage without it. Pope looking to find ways to try and join this party, but can't quite break a way in yet. The thing is, with the Haskars fighting it, it can be a real fortress of solitude there, as they continue to have that stranglehold on this Grand Prix in the first few laps. Yellow flag again, that's down around, and crashing into the entry in the pit lane. Oh, there he goes off! Out on the spot, the car despawns immediately. No safety car, will carry on racing. Well, Dan out just like that. Lando looking to retake the lead, he'll retake the lead away from Grumio. Haskars practically taking turns here. Playing nice so far. Che right on the tail of Grumio as they come through turn 3. Not doing enough place to try and make a move for that position. Right on board here with Grumio. Keep an eye on Che. See him fall back a little bit through turn 9. The Haas a bit faster through there. Grumio really on it. If, I dare say, if that DRS straight was any longer, he'd have a good chance to try and have the lead back from his teammate. But won't do it for now. Currently Goblin out. And a safety car now deployed. Unsure where that car's in park, but he's out of the race. 16 runners now in the Grand Prix. The safety car has been deployed early on. I'll be looking at some tyre changes here. Everyone coming in. Pretty crucial for the two Haskars. Lando comes in first, so he will be avoid the double stack. Grumio is there behind. Che by himself right now in terms of tyre changes. He's away. Manlow's gone. Che out in second. Pope will be out in third. Lucky Lambert stays out. He'll lead the way with one of the cars who started on the hard tyres. Grumio down to P7 on the exit, but that's what you can't expect sometimes. Webb's taking advantage. Sauber now in front. Imrie down to P11 here, so he didn't lose out too much from the actual double stacking, but more being around other cars and being that close to other cars was what sealed it for him. But he's now on fresh hard tyres, and could we see these guys go to the end potentially on those tyres? Have to wait and see what the plan is there. But perhaps another late safety car, or perhaps just a late stop for softs, could be in the offing. So Lucky leads then. IndyCar, who stayed out. IndyCar has been the same tyre since the start of the race. Lucky is number 1. Well, he's number 1 right now. He's showing the way, but of course we'll have to make a pit stop later on. Of course, we've seen in the past these drivers who stay out on the original set of tyres could be a concern because they're often roadblocks on the restart. Obsessed Gamer up in the top 5 right now. He stayed out, so potentially we want to avoid being a tripping hazard for those guys. But in terms of obviously track position, you want to keep his as well. To lap 10 of this Grand Prix on our first safety car of the day. Waiting on Curtis, the last car, to close back up, and from there we'll get a restart soon next time round. Of course, James losing places down to the penalty he got earlier on. The 10 seconds for ignoring the yellow flag. So he's dropped some places himself. So down to P11 now for James. Right now, Landor getting 18 places out, getting 18 points outright in the standings. That gap comes down to 13 points to my mind, which is a big gain. Big game for Landor, but I imagine James will come fighting back. With everyone imagine a lot closer together, we'll see how Lucky handles his restart. We've seen him lead away from restarts before. Safety car in this lap now, so Lucky will lead us away. Landlord second, Che in third, Pope fourth, Obsessed Gamer in fifth place. MC sixth, Cop seventh, PJ eighth, JB ninth, and Imri right at the lots of points paying places. 6 more cars left in the race. James, Ethan, Duck, Grumio down to 14th here. A lot of work to do for the Haas car. Ben in 15th and Curtis in 16th. What will Grumio do? He's gone from second in the race down to 14th, down 12 places. Can he come back from that? Let's wait and see. Lucky will lead him though. And he will control the pace on the restart. Pulling away here already over Landlord. Green flag comes back out. Lucky shows the way. Landlord on full overtake as he goes towards that first corner. Can he get enough run? He's going to pull to the inside of the racetrack. Lucky goes to the outside. Will not defend it. And towards into that first corner, Landlord outbreaks him. And Landlord retakes the lead. The championship gap falls down now to just 6 points. Che on the inside, Lucky now. Che will take it. Obsessed Game dropping back a bit now. Both Sabers around him. There goes JB to the outside. JB takes him as well. Imri looking for potential move for P8 here. Lock up from one of the cars in front. A lot of tyre spill pull around here. PJ might try and challenge Imri to go towards turn 10. Through turn 9 they come now. Nice and easy. James back there in P11. Grimmy off the place season to P13 himself as Landlord looks to pull away, but Che not letting him do it for the minute. The 3 cars are now cleared Lucky. Imri stuck behind the Aston Martin. Obsessed Gamer here. That could be trouble for him. Oh, there goes Grimmy off the circuit. Keeps it under control. No wing on that. No impact on that car. Grimmy now down to P16. Or even worse off. The defending champions title defense declining a little bit here as his teammate shows the way. And Landlord in a dream scenario right now with neither one of his championship rivals any higher than 9th. James P9, Grimio P16, and Pope right on the tail there of Che. Pope in that position to take away P3 in the Drivers' Championship. DRS zone now back in play. Lucky holding on to P4 right now. He's got Cotton behind him, but JB in 7th. Obsessed Gamer continuing to keep these cars behind the bay. Both RBs around Imri now. There goes James to the inside, looking for the place. He'll take the place. Flying Duck goes through inside as well. There goes Imri, almost 3 wide behind them as Curtis looks to get involved too. Imri around both cars. Obsessed Gamer down to P12 there. That's about 4 places lost in a few corners. Imri loses that's both RB cars here. There goes Cox P4. He'll take away P4. Che reclaims the lead of Landlord. Webbs into turn 1 will take away P5 as well. Big train of cars here from P8 down to P15. And Grimmy by himself in P16. But closing, I think, on the cars in front. Ben in the Williams sandwich here. PJ in front, Ethan behind. Grimmy back in DRS range as they continue to scuffle. Che lead by half a second now to Landlord, Pope in 3rd. Caught by 1.8 behind it in 4th. That's Webbsy 5th. JB passing Lucky for P6. The two McLarens continue to perform this season 4th place right now in the Constructors' Championship, doing a fantastic job. Off the last corner again, can we see these guys go head to head for the lead once more? Landlord goes back to the inside, reclaims the lead from Che. Two Sauber side by side, Websy back into P4 again. Those guys now looking to try and close on the leaders. James passes Duck, Curtis passing Imrie. Ben is the first 3-second time multi for multiple warnings today. Scanning gets one himself now too. Romeo again back to work now, back into P13 again. Just passing Aston Martin there. And his next plug will be PJ Calvin in front now. Will we see the champion go on the charge that we see him do so often? All while Landlord continues to command this race. Hopefully for Haas's case, slowing it down so Romeo can get back in it. Down the main straight again. Can Pope get close this time? He's been waiting about half the race for an opportunity to go for it. Pope to the inside. He might try and go through wide like we've seen before. Che takes the lead. Pope to the inside. Can he go for it? Into turn 1. Yellow flag behind them. All clear, never mind. Che maintains the lead, but Pope's there in second. Landlord goes siding around the outside looking for P2. He'll take back P2. These two continuing to fight on. Imrie to the outside of James here, looking for position. Oh, a bit of contact between them there, slight bit of tap. Imrie maintaining his position, but James gets back in front and will clear Imrie going into turn 7. See him not as quick there through turn 9 compared to the cars in front. Big lock up in front from Lucky Lambert's McLaren. Pope falling back here. Into close that gap in the last 2 corners. Can Landlord reclaim the lead from Che? On to lap 16 of the race. Landlord closes in effortlessly there, flying back with the penalty. Landlord retakes the lead, and Websy reclaims P4 from Cott. Those two continue to go back in 4th position. JB and Lucky still just staying in range right now. Everyone seems quite static in terms of what pack they're in. Imrie a bit too deep there. Yellow flag in sector 1. Who is that? That is Lucky. He's had a problem of some kind. Maybe had a slight slide there, but Duck to the inside of Imrie, looking for the place to take the place back. Imrie still on the inside there. Slight touch on the exit. Once again. Moves back into line. Che right there behind Landlord. This time the top 3 a lot closer together now. That Mercedes is not quite as quick through the high speed corners, and that's what's costing him right now in terms of DRS. Che goes back to the inside, will retake the lead from Landlord. Can Pope to take second place. Oh, Landlord! I think sort of maybe started for a second there. You saw Landlord there moving back out, and you saw Pope sort of struggle with the wheel for a second. He's trying to put stuff away from the Haas to avoid wing damage, and he did do just that. The two Saubers closing back in, Websy and Cott. The two green machines being led by Cott right now. Now within 2 seconds, they've been just hovering around that sort of mark the whole race. We'll soon to go back on the way more or less. Romeo meanwhile starting to catch the cars and the points. Lucky the next car in front of him. goes by, these guys a bit more separated in the top 3. Eaton passing Ben for P14. Down the main straight. And in a rare sighting here in Spain so far, the top 3 will see no change in the position going towards Tumble. Webster get back in front of Cop though. Grimio makes the pass on Lucky Lambert. P11 now for the champion as he looks to push himself back towards the points again. He's getting up to around P6 in order to maintain P3 in the championship. If Pope stays where he is, but of course there's every chance Pope goes up to the lead, tries to win this race. Landor backed up a little bit there. Chase shut the door. Off turn 9 once again. Chain now in control, leading this race. Will these guys take these soft tyres, so take the hard tyres all the way to the end? I think short of a safety car, we could be seeing potentially a run to the flag, which could make this race a bit more interesting in terms of loss of tyre wear. And we're right behind there, going to turn 1. One goes for it. Cotton gets back past Websy. Those two going back and forth, and losing time now as JB closes in. Now, of course, JB is looking to try and close on Websy directly in the championship, so his championship rival is right there in front of him. That's where he needs to be. Grimio still chasing Imri right now for P9. He's out of DRS range. It can make it a bit harder, but if Imri keeps on fighting Duck, these RBs have continued to cause problems for him these last 5 or 6 laps. And the more they struggle, the more and more Grimio will reel them in. Imri to the inside now, DRS in his favour. A good exit from Duck means they stay side by side. Gets back in front now. There's Duck. And Imri now has Grimio on his tail. Top 3 staying as they were, stay stagnant. On to 20 here. 14 laps to go. Grimio gets back around Imri. They're side by side into the corner. I thought for a second he's going to try to make a move on Flying Duck as well. Grimio with that in-play damage is up into P9 now. Still a long race to be done, but right now it's looking like DRS galore here. But in recent laps, these guys have struggled a lot as Lucky Lambert goes around. He's made his pit stop now. He's onto that fresh set medium tyres. We'll probably go to the end on those. PJ Keller gets a penalty for multiple warnings. Landlord reclaims the lead. Cotton as he continues to dance to P4. JB right in there behind him. And Grimmo now into P7. He's going to manage to get around both Imri and Duck because Duck forces Imri out, keeps him away. Bit of ghosting for a second there. And that could have been close to the comfort. Che looking in. down towards the last two corners once again, looking off the last one. Can Che get back around them? I'm thinking that the race could very much be decided here as Che goes for the lead back off of Landlord. There goes Lucky Lambert emerging from the pit lane. That's quite just behind the three leaders. Look at this. 3 different teams, 3 different manufacturers, two of them full-timers, one of the reserve, but a very experienced reserve at that. Che, multiple-time race winner, almost put Grimo to the sword in season 14. Back on F1 22, which is a long time ago. Flying Duck pitting, Curtis also pitting. So perhaps we could be looking at late changes onto fresh tyres to give you an extra edge in the last part of the race. Che in front, he's pulling away here. About half a second now on Landlord. Hope not closing in on those guys. Lucky getting DRS off them for the minute, so he might be comfortable staying there. It's a lap down though, crucially. But he can get that lap back if, of course, the leaders choose to come in. So keep an eye on who makes their way to the pits and who doesn't. Grimo looking to close in on James now. Up to P8, Imri P9. Landlord will reclaim the lead. Here comes Pope, might try to go for second. Pope on the inside, won't go for it, won't take the risk. Stays in there for the minute. Down through turn 4 again. 3.6 seconds separates Pope from Cott right now. The two Saubers again in a world of their own as they have been throughout. Which one of those two Saubers will emerge in front? And can JB get around neither one of them? It's right there behind Websy, so could play into perhaps a race for P4 as the race of the podium continues on. They'll continue to scrap. But so far, it's been mainly Che and Landlord with Pope almost a background character there. I'm unable to really get in the fight. Hasn't led at all yet. But it's been up there briefly. Almost went for the lead off of Che about 10 laps ago. But from there, it's been sat behind with a front row seat watching these two continue to go at it. And there he is again. Che reclaims the lead into turn 1. Behind them, it's quite split up now. The DRS train's disappearing for the most part. PJ holding the last point. He's 8 seconds in front of his teammate Ethan. Ben in P12. There's Flying Duck behind them. Curtis in P14. Both those two make their stops. Obsessed Gamer 15th and Lucky Lambert in 16th. So everyone, of course, has made a stop and everyone looks set for the flag. 5 cars of time penalties. Imri, PJ, Ben, Duck and Obsessed Gamer. So those guys will serve those at the end of the Grand Prix. A Grand Prix which we are now in the final 10 laps. Ben gets another one here, 6 seconds to his name now. About a minute separating the entire field. A minute 47, if we want to, or 46 if we want to count Lucky Lambert in there. He's right behind the lead, it's about a lap down. He's not really allowed to get involved in this one. He's got to be careful in terms of how involved he can get. So he can keep on getting DRS off them, it's most likely fine. But not really allowed to probably join the fighting. Landlord retakes the lead. Pope again, just stuck back there, looking for something to take advantage of, but nothing so far. Just wants that chance for the minute, can't quite do it. But Landlord and Che have gone back and forth, swapping the lead, back and forth, and neither one of them really pulling away. Che led for a few laps for Landlord when it took it back, and they're both back as they were. Eight laps to go across the line. Three-car fight for P4 continues on, but it looks to be the same sort of story as the Salvers continues back and forth with JB playing the Pope role here and just not quite able to get involved just yet. But are these two hanging back? Are they waiting for the opportune moment to try and nab the lead? For now though, Che sitting right there behind. Webbsy gets back around Cop. James by himself for the minute, but Grimio closing in and Imri there in P9. PJ in P10. Ben's got Ethan right behind him as they go on the main straight. Towards turn 1. Around the outside, there he goes. Lucky Lambo still hanging on to this train here up front. Still a fantastic job of keeping with them. The DRS is definitely helping with that. In terms of battery, let's see what we're looking at in that respect. The top 3 are actually quite high at the minute. JB using a good chunk of his perhaps trying to keep up with these guys in front of him. Lando a bit wide there. Che might see an opportunity, but Lando pulling away again. 7 laps to settle it. That's all it'll take. And I think you want to be in position to go for the lead going on to lap 33, and this is in about 6 laps time. But you want to be the one that's going in behind. Just try and ensure there's no real opportunity for your opponent to fight back on the last lap. So this is a three-man race position. Any one of these guys could still win this race. I wouldn't put it past anyone to not come across the line first. Cotton Webbsy were closing on these guys about 10 laps ago, but now I've dropped back quite a way. Save that safety car. This race has been save the safety car and for the crash on the first lap. This one's been quite quick. Pressure on for these guys in front as they continue to command this race. Just a few laps to go. Having a good position change for the first time in this Grand Prix. The driver is getting the most spots at this point is JB, who's up 6 places since the start. He was up in he's starting P12, he's up to P6, and the driver who's lost those is actually Grimio, who of course started on pole and fell back to as low as P16 after the pit stops and after the safety car restart. But he's come back here. He could only lose positions, but Imri's also lost 6 places himself. As Lando reclaims the lead, that's his 1 game for today. That position probably won't be decided until we reach the flag. It's now under 6 laps time. There'll be interesting discussions I think going on in the post-race interviews tonight. Yellow flag, and that is Ben on the main straight. Is that Ben? Sorry, no, that is Flying Duck around on the main straight, and his wing's gone. No wing on that car, and a bad place for him to crash it. So let's do a lap without the wing. I think the gamble that Curtis and Flying Duck made to go onto the medium tyres is pretty set in stone now. Track position lost, and Flying Duck isn't getting it back. Those two, except for P13 and P14. The bottom 4 places in terms of the running cars all look to be settled here. Lucky's a lap down. I should imagine that makes some more gain. Flying Duck needs to pit. Obsessed Gamer is in one of his own right now, almost at risk of being lapped. Potentially be lapped at the end of the race. And Curtis, about 7 seconds back from Ethan, who continues to try and take on Ben. Grimmy 1.2 behind James now, looking to try and close that gap. James scoring. Oh, yellow flag again. That's Flying Duck off the circuit. He's retired. Could that be a late safety car, perhaps? Looking like it won't be here yet. He despawns. We continue on. But Flying Duck been out of the race. Pulling the car over, and that's his day done. Che leads. Landlord continues to hunt him down. Pope right behind these guys. And we'll see in terms of ERS usage what these guys all try and do on the main straight. Think back in the first stint of the Grand Prix, we were looking at 3 wide passes for the lead. Pope could use one of those right now. 4 laps to the end. Che, of course, has that penalty. So Lando and Pope are the ones in position to try and win this race. Down towards turn 1. Pope on the inside of Che now. Oh, Pope almost off on the gravel there. Side by side. The two cars going at it. The Alpine around the outside, but can Mercedes get the good drive off? Lando pulling away to 6/10 here. I think short of a Lando penalty, he's in good to try and win this race. Che now more or less an object just in Pope's way. PJ Keller gets a penalty for himself now. It's 6 seconds to his name. He and Ben both for 6 seconds, but those guys race in position regardless. Sorry, apologies. Ben and Ethan are in this position. Ethan is the Williams chasing him. But Pope needs to wear around Che if he wants any chance of winning this Grand Prix. Lucky's still fast behind there. Ethan gets a penalty for himself now. Another penalty for him, and they'll be even, Ben and Ethan, so they can try and go for it just for position without thinking about penalties. There's a chance they'll both get overhauled potentially by Curtis if he can get close enough. 3 laps to go. Pope with a good run here, looking to the inside of Che, potentially leads turn 1, backs out, but Che takes the lead. And Pope and Lando are dueling for the top spot now. This is for the race win. Pope on the inside, this time gets a better run. Lando must get a good drive off though. Pope to the inside, he's into a net first place. Lando goes back to the outside, looking to outbrake his rival into the corner. Pope slides a bit. Off the corner, Lando better exit. Che pulling away here, he's got a second on these guys. And that is not what Lando will want right now, because he's now the car in front, as Pope will have DRS on the attack. However, we talked about this earlier, will he stay in line? The idea could be to stay in line for the lap, keep himself in DRS range, hope that Che doesn't jump back from those guys. But Che's pulling away here, he's got 1.1 seconds. Yellow flag behind him, that's Pope around! Pope around in the last few laps, no! And all of a sudden, the race looks to be landlord's. Pope around at turn 12 with just over 2 laps to go, and the race with no threat from behind looks to go to landlord, unless Che can gain 1.7 seconds in the next 2 laps. He's up 1.5. But landlord just needs to bring this thing home now. And Mercedes weekend falls apart. Both Haas cars look to potentially beat to the flag. I imagine that's then take a penalty, Pope can get removed. I didn't see any contact with Cott, as the game said, but Cott now on for a podium finish. Lucky off in the gravel there. He'll let the Sabres go. Che needs in the second half, more or less, to win this race. And the prospect of what could have been a very entertaining final lap, now broken up. Che starts the third and last tour. Lando behind him in second place. That'll be first place at the flag. Lando looking for his second win of the season to go with the win from Saudi Arabia. And in quite dramatic circumstances there, ladies and gentlemen, into the late stage of this Grand Prix. Che still 1.5 to the good here. Cott looking at third place. Webbs will be off the podium in the end. JB will finish in 5th as it stands. James up to 6th in the end. Grimio right behind him. Those guys could do all right to the line if Grimio can get close enough. Look at that, no end plate on that happened. He's still been fighting back throughout. From P16 onwards to P6. Yellow flag and some assess game around the way. The Sauber's there, right behind. Che has been a dominant force in this Grand Prix. If not for that penalty, the race would be his. He's got 2 corners to go now. Che runs to check a flag to win the Spanish Grand Prix on track. But as he emerges from the final corner, it'll be career win number 64 in the RDL for Landlord, who wins here in Spain. Che will take second. Cott will beat Dempsey for third. Narrow race to the two Salvas. Fantastically done from both of them there. Jamie for fifth. Another 10 points for his championship tally. James home in sixth. Will lose about 17 points in the championship. Oh, Grimio and Pogo sliding over the line there to cap things off. Imre home in 8th place in the end. Pogo that penalty. 9th at the flag. But most likely to get dropped out, but put back up again. Peter takes the last point off. Ethan will beat Ben home in the flag at the end. P11 and P12. Curtis will take P13. Obsesco with P14. Lucky Lambert P15. Landlord wins it then. Career win 64. Haas beat Mercedes. And after the hope that really came up for Mercedes going into today, they'll have to regroup and return again for Austria next week. And the DRS played a crucial factor in this race today, without a shadow of a doubt. Perhaps the DRS taking away from some of the racing itself, and that'll be obviously a look to the direction of EA and Codemasters. And from what I'm seeing here, it appears that Pope may have just fallen victim to the glitch at turn 12. Landlord wins it then. Could that have been Pope's day, perhaps? We might get to hear from him in a few minutes' time. There he is, Pope already here. As the celebrations begin for Landlord.
Yeah, no, I'm in a way. Obviously, I'm very disappointed. I probably should have won the race. I mean, I played tactically, made sure Landlord didn't have DRS, so I could battle him and defend with that. But at the end of the day, I'm still very happy with the pace shown, and yeah, obviously the result doesn't show it, but I feel very strong in this season, so I'm very happy.
Satisfied with the form. I was hoping that we'd come back to quite an annoyed Pope at the end of it, so that was my worry. But you've come back in eager as ever, so props to you there. Do you think would you agree that the DRS played perhaps the biggest factor in the race today?
Yeah, I mean, it's been playing the biggest factor in the entire season. No matter, like, as long as you're somewhat around the pace as everyone else, it's fine if you're within 1 second. Like, there's been tracks where people are much faster than me, and it doesn't make a difference because I'm still clawing onto their DRS. So yeah, I've got pretty lucky with that. I mean, I didn't do much practice for today, and I was able to fight at the top, so I think that clearly shows it.
Fair enough. So we're satisfied with this race then, and we'll move on to Austria next week, yeah?
Oh, of course, yeah. I mean, yeah, obviously gutted, but at the end of the day, what can you do? It was going to get someone, of course it was going to get me.
Do you think you'd have had him in the last lap? What would the plan have been there had that not happened?
So I would have drove really fast, used all my energy, and then twatted him out the race.
I don't believe a word of that.
No, it would have been probably sit back, regain somehow of a mistake in the final corner, so I dropped back by 6 tenths, so I can't overtake on the start-finish straight, and then push up, try and defend, make sure it doesn't get within a second, and then full out attack on the last lap.
To be fair, that was what I was speculating, but it's a shame we didn't get to see that come to fruition. But still, though, I mean, Austria next week, sort of coming towards the end of your good run of tracks. I mean, is there a sense of disappointment that you don't feel there's perhaps a result to show for it, save for the win at Imola?
Yeah, I think obviously Monaco, once again I don't think it went my way, unfortunately, with the safety car and bad strategy call by myself as well. And then obviously Canada, well, that was me making mistakes, and yeah, disappointed on that. And then this one, once again, I wouldn't say it's my fault. I did everything that I could to avoid this incident, and unfortunately it caught up to me. So yeah, but we've still got a few more tracks, and then I'm off for a week in Milan, so that'll be quite nice.
Good to hear. Well, hopefully Austria's a good bit better for next week. We'll move on now to the next car down. Okay, well, I was going to go to JB, but JB joined and then left, which is Jerome. We'll move on now to Gaming James, who I think was the next car behind JB after that. James, I mean, commiserations in the end, mate. I think you had the pace today, but it didn't quite go your way. Talk to us. What happened?
Yeah, I think I had the pace and all, just that DRS was a big factor today in this race. I mean, I couldn't gain the guys in front every single straight, losing time, and obviously qualifying wasn't great as well, but I mean, overall, I don't think it was a bad race, you know, considering I got off a flight, like 4 hours, something like that, so I don't think it's too bad.
Too bad at all there, but crucially, Lando wins the race, and that brings the gap down by a decent extent. Are you worried at all going into Austria?
No, just going to keep doing what I'm doing. Hopefully, just still keep the lead going into all these next rounds. Maybe extend it even more in some races, but not worried. So I'm not. You know, it's still a long season left.
What's the next few tracks like for you? Austria, Silverstone, Hungary, those sort of circuits. What are we saying there?
Normally, quite good. So I mean, I think I quite like more high downforce tracks. So I do. Well, I mean, I suppose Austria isn't, but I don't really like that track anyway. But yeah, I think it's looking good for the next couple of weeks.
Hopefully things will perhaps go your way again, and we'll perhaps see you looking for win number 5 on the season. We'll move on to JB while we've gone briefly. JB's still going back and forth, but JB, mate, congratulations, P5 at the end of it. That was quite a drive from you.
Yeah, thank you. P4 after reserves as well, because Joe's obviously reserve. But yeah, good race. Was surprised, I think, considering that's where I qualified. But once it was on the hard tyre, the pace was really good, and I was able to stay with Cott and Websy. But yeah, no, otherwise really happy with that. Shame about what happened to Lucky. He just got caught out with the strategy, so it could have been a lot better had the safety car not come out. But yeah, it is what it is.
Fair enough, but of course you were chasing Websy during the race day. Of course, he's obviously your direct rival in terms of points in the championship. Do you reckon you can keep up with him over the next few races?
No, I think Websy got very unlucky at the start of the season. He had a couple of DNFs. I've had some good races like this one in Bahrain, so sometimes my pace is there, but I think Websy's generally a lot stronger. So, but we'll see. You never know. He may have another unlucky spell. But yeah, just have to see what happens.
I mean, it's been good pace from you, good pace from McLaren as well this season, because of course Lucky's had some strong races himself. I mean, do you see yourself at least maintaining where you are in the standings at all?
Where are we right now? 4th. It's that sort of battle, isn't it, with Cott and Websy there. I think they're starting to build up pace, especially if Cott can get some consistent results like he did today. Because I think he's only finished in the points a couple of times this season. So yeah, we'll see. I think they'll beat us, but we'll definitely put up a fight.
Good to hear. Oh, cool. Well done on the good race once again. P4, I say, after reserves. We'll move on now to Obsessed Gamer, who had a bit of experience running up front today. Obsessed, you hear us, mate? Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, of course, you had a bit of experience during the safety car race. Don't you up in P5 at one point? Talk me through that.
Well, I missed my pit. Didn't realize everybody else pitted. I was just gonna follow what they were doing, but I was busy looking at something in my room, and then I realized everybody pitted and I missed it, so I got P5, and then yeah.
If I may ask, what was the thing in your room you're looking at?
I think it was just a poster.
Fair enough. To fair, I am mixing doing that myself here and there on stream. But enough about that. JB's listening, so I won't delve further into that. But I mean, I feel like the pace. I feel like the pace has gotten better and better for me in recent weeks. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would. Kind of stop hanging back at the start and actually pushing for a little bit better place. And yeah, today I think it went pretty well. At the end, I was a little worried that Lucky was going to catch me with my penalty. So just trying to keep him outside of 3 seconds. So it was a big relief when I saw that he'd gotten held back a little bit.
I've been there with that sort of feeling before myself in my own substandard league racing career. But regardless, in terms of, I mean, let's think a bit further forward here for the last question. Do you see there being an outside chance of points this season? Perhaps one later on down the line?
I think given the correct circumstances, I could get some points. I think it's definitely within the realm of possibility. Almost got points in Monaco. Granted, like a third of the drivers crashed out, but
fair enough. I mean, it could happen down the line. We've seen it with the next guy I'm about to interview in a moment. But in terms of Austria next week, have you had a chance to try Austria at all? What are we thinking there?
I think it's a decent track. I've only done it in multiplayer lobbies, so I've seen like a ton of people just dive bomb and haven't really been able to properly race it. But yeah, no, I think it's a decent track. So
should be fun. Should be exciting to see what goes on. Well done on the pace once again, getting better and better by the week. And we'll move on now to the last interview of the night. The driver who, of course, we saw a lot of jubilation from when he scored points last season. Red J, commiserations today, buddy. What happened on the start? Did you get caught out?
Yeah, I'll get on to that in a minute. I think first of all, I've been watching a bit of the race, and yeah, some good results. I think JB did really well to finish fourth in the end after
Thank you.
with obviously Shea being a reserve driver, but a good result from Shea as well. I'm not too sure whether it was a deserved 3-second penalty or not, so I don't know whether he'll technically get back that first place. I'm not really too sure how it works, but yeah, it looked a pretty good race. Obviously, though, from me and Cottony's side, not quite so good. Yeah, qualifying obviously wasn't great. I thought Obsessed Gamer, I thought he did a really good job, and quality to obviously beat me and Cottony. Me and Cottony have, been trying to fight out to kind of usually one car into Q2 each race, and for neither of us to do that. Yeah, quite disappointing. We were quite a bit off the pace. And then as for the race itself, I don't know if I'm allowed to swear. I don't know if that'll get you demonetised.
I'd say if you can avoid it, then do. But if you absolutely can't, then there's nothing on my channel about it.
Just about contain myself, but it begins to summarise his driving. It begins with an F for the first word, and begins with an S for the second word.
Okay, right.
So I think you can
get a picture there, yeah.
Awful driving from Aaron, to be honest. 2 occasions within the race, obviously from the start, got a good jump off the line, and I was alongside Cottony, and I was pretty much alongside Obsessed Gamer. And then, yeah, a few metres off the line from Aaron when he finds himself going into the side of Lambert, I think it was. And then obviously his car's just kind of, it's turned back onto me, and I wasn't able to react in time. And to be quite honest, I'm surprised how I was the only one to DNF from that, but it still ruined Cottony's race as well, because he had to pit. I don't know how Obsessed Gamer was able to get away with not much damage, or maybe he did carry some minor damage. I'd be interested to hear what his thoughts were of it. But just poor driving from Aaron, and I think his reaction to the incident as well is very childish. And obviously, if you watch the rest of the race from there, you would have. I saw it on the stream. He couldn't even enter into the pits without crashing into the wall. I don't know whether into the pit wall. I don't know whether he did it on purpose or not. I'm not too sure. But all in all, a really disappointing performance from him, and he's ruined both our races. We're fighting with Aston Martin at the moment. They're our main rivals. I think we're good enough to beat them. But obviously, when got our rival teams, essentially, I don't think he intended to cause a safety car from the start of the race, but I just don't see how he was able to kind of all of a sudden straight off the line, and then his car just veers left straight into Lambert. I don't know what he was doing, to be quite honest. So it's just frustrating. You sit there. I didn't actually go into the practice for this week, thank God. Otherwise, I would have wasted more time. But you sit there going through a whole hour of quali, and you go into the race, and I literally couldn't get past the start-finish straight before retiring. So I'm just annoyed, and I think I've got every right to be. I hope, and I'm sure, correct action will be taken against him. I don't think he should race again, to be honest, in the league with the way he's reacting.
Yeah, let me just cut you off there. I've seen the clip. I think he got a lot of wheel spin off the start. It didn't look intentional. It wasn't like he was steering left. He was steering right when he hit.
Yeah, you might want to look
on.
also later on in the race when he goes into the pits as well, and literally just slams himself into.
Yeah,
the
everything will be dealt with.
I'm sure it will be dealt with.
if he-
It's just poor driving.
I think.
Yeah,
and also his reaction. I think it's, to be quite honest, I think it's the reaction. And
Well, he did
it does come up with
apologise,
the group
so
chat.
let me just. He has apologised, and I think he was just saying "lol" to your rather sarcastic comment. I don't think there was anything particularly charged about it. So yeah, let's hand it back to Zach.
Yeah, we'll pull away from what happened this week. Reggie, any thoughts on Austria next week? What are we thinking there?
Yeah, good track. Hopefully I can get a good result there. Hopefully we can get a good result as a team. And then obviously after that we've got Silverstone as well. So two really fun tracks. And hopefully we can bounce back from this disappointing race. To be honest, I don't think really based on the quali performances we would have had a realistic chance of finishing within the points. I just don't think we quite maybe got the setups right because we were quite a bit off the pace in quali. It's, yeah, for Austria we'll look to try and come back and get a good result hopefully.
I'll have to wait and see there. Well, that'll do it for interviews. Before we cap things off then, I will do what we normally do. Anyone in the VC store, you know, try and put forward a word of the race for us. If anyone's got any word in particular in mind. Pope, I know you're quite good at these. Are you still about with us? Oh?
Somewhat. Yeah, somewhat.
You got a word for us?
Invisible.
Invisible.
Yeah, invisible. Alien.
Alien or invisible we're thinking, boys?
Invisible. I'll go invisible.
Invisible, yeah. For the invisible corner entry there from on lap 31. Okay, no, I won't do that myself. Right, okay, we'll go with that. Invisible is the word. So those of you who are still in the chat, make sure to type that down in the chat box. Those of you who come back watching it post stream, make sure to go down to the comment section, type in the word invisible, and let us know what you think about Pope's entry to the corners.
Oh, me. This absolutely.
I'm sorry. Okay, I'll let myself get sacked by these two in a matter of moments. Thank you guys for watching. Of course, back in action next week at Austria, the 26th of August. Same time, same place. Make sure to subscribe. Until next time, have an absolutely fabulous week, and we shall see you very soon.